Hey, what's up guys? So today we're going to be doing another SAT video, and today we're going to be covering fractions, ratios, rates, and percentages. So to start off, some quick tips and tricks. So number one thing I suggest is practicing. If you want to improve your speed, just do more practice problems. Now Khan Academy offers a bunch of practice problems which are free, and if you're trying to just master these individual skills, I highly recommend that. Other than that, you can try to look into the full practice test from College Board, or even through College Panda, because they also have individual sections and full practice tests there. Okay, number two, don't get lost with different variables and numbers in a word problem. Alright, so here's one of the problems from Prep Scholar that I found. So, if a 3-pound pizza is sliced in half, and each half is sliced into thirds, what is the weight in ounces of each slice? So, you're given it's a 3-pound pizza. So, first thing you want to do is convert it into ounces. So you have 3 pounds over X amount of ounces, which equals 1 pound over 16. And this is pretty much what they give you. So then from here you can cross multiply. So when we cross multiply, you're going to multiply the 3 and the 16 and the x and the 1. So instead of writing 1x, you can just simply write as x. X equals 3 times 16, which is 48. Now you're not done there, because it's asking for the weights in ounces of each slice. So to get the number of slices, what I like to do is draw it out. So from here, you can take a circle, because a pizza is a circle. Draw a quick circle. And this doesn't have to be perfect, but it's just a rough drawing. So it's sliced into half. Doesn't matter which way it's sliced in half, as long as it's sliced in half. Okay, so it can either be vertically or horizontally. And then it's sliced into thirds. So that pretty much just means this. We're going to have 3 pieces on each, or 3 pieces for each half, so a total of 6 slices. So if there's 6 slices and the whole pizza weighs 48 ounces, you could just do 48 over 6 to get you the weight of each slice. So when you solve for that, you get 8. So 8 ounces is the weight of each slice. Okay, number 3, use logic and common sense. So some of these you can just look at it and know, okay, which one's the right answer, which one can I knock off immediately. Okay, so gear ratio, R to S, is the ratio of number of teeth of 2 connected gears. The ratio of the number of revolutions per minute, RPM, of the 2 gear wheels is S to R. So this is a valuable piece of information right here. In the diagram below, gear A is turned by a motor. The turning of gear A causes gear B and C to turn as well. So we see 20 teeth right here for gear A, 60 teeth for gear B, and 10 teeth for gear C. If gear A is rotated by a motor at a rate of 100 RPMs, what is the number of revolutions per minute for gear C? Well, just looking at this, I could say it's 200. Alright, so why is this the case? Well, if this has 20 teeth and it's moving at 100 RPMs, this has half the number of teeth, because it has 10 teeth, so it should be moving at double of what this is moving at. So you can simply do 100 times 2, which would get you 200. Clearly 1,000 is way too fast, 50 is not enough, and 110 is also not enough. Okay, and lastly, this goes with everything, read the prompt carefully. Sometimes there's valuable piece of information, such as the gear ratio R to S, and then how it's S to R, and also like 1 pound equals 16 ounces. Okay, now moving on to simple examples. So first I'll read out the examples, give about 10 seconds, or you can pause the video right there, and then I'll go through the solutions. Okay, number 1. So you're solving for x. X over 6 equals 4 over 24. Solve for x. Number 2. If the distance between city A and city B is 75 miles, how many kilometers would that be? And it gives you 1 mile equals 1.61 kilometers. Okay, number 3. If 10 plus x is 5 more than 10, what is the value of 3x plus 8? Okay, so pause the video right here and solve. Alright, so number 1. If x over 6 equals 4 over 24, solve for x. So here we could just cross multiply. Pretty easy. Then you have 24 equals 24x. And when you divide by 24 on this side, you divide by 24 on that side, you get x equals 1. So, pretty simple problem. Alright, Number 2, if the distance between city A and city B is 75 miles, how many kilometers would that be? So you could do 75 miles over x kilometers equals 1 mile, 1.61 kilometers. Okay, and so pretty much you're just setting up a ratio, and you're going to cross multiply right here. So 75 times 1.61, and again 1 over x, which can, or 1 times x, which can just be x, equals, so 75 times 1.61, which is 120.75. And since it doesn't say what's around you, we can just leave it like this. Just watch out on the actual SAT, or if you're taking a practice test, watch out, because it'll usually tell you what's around you. Okay, number 3. If 10 plus x is 5 more than 10, what is the value of 3x plus 8? So 10 plus x equals 5 more than 10, so that's just 5 plus 10. Okay, so you're going to solve for x here. So 10 plus x equals 15. And then you could subtract 10 from this side, and then subtract 10 from the other side. So then you have x equals 5. But you're not done there, because it's asking for what is the value of 3x plus 8. So plug 3 times x, which is 5. So 3 times 5 plus 8, which is 15, plus 8, which is 23. Okay, and that's it for the simple examples. Now moving on to some harder examples. So, just like what we did up there, I'm going to read it out. I'll let you pause the video, and then I'll go through the solutions. Okay, number 1. So you're given that 3x minus y equals 12, and it's asking you to simplify 8 to the power of x over 2 to the power of y. So just simplify that down. So, number 2. The size of city A and city B can be represented by the ratio 5 to 9. If the size of a similar cities C and D can be represented by 10 to x, what is x? 3. Given that x plus y equals 7 and x minus y equals 5, simplify x plus y times x squared minus y squared. 4. John went to buy a new pair of shoes. The store was having a 20% discount. If the sales tax was 8% and John paid a total of $64.80, what was the original price of the shoes? Right, number 5. Evaluate. So you're evaluating 3 minus 5i over 8 plus 2i. Alright, so pause the video right here, and let me get into the solutions right after. Okay, so number 1. So, given that 3x minus y equals 12, you're simplifying 8 to the power of x over 2 to the power of y. Well, 8 can be rewritten as 2 to the third. So then this can be written as 2 to the third times x, or 2 to the 3x over 2 to the y. And then using properties of exponents, you can rewrite this as 2 to the 3x minus y, since the bases are the same, and division, when you're dividing by two exponents with the same bases, it's going to turn into subtraction like this. Okay, and then since it's already giving you 3x minus y equals 12, it's just going to be 2 to the power of 12. And you can leave it like that. Okay, number 2. The size of city A and city B can be represented by the ratio 5 to 9. If the size of similar cities C and D can be represented by 10 to x, what is x? So it's saying 5 to 9, A over B is similar to C over D, which is 10 over x. So then you can cross multiply here, just like what we did above in the simpler examples. Okay, so you have 5x equals 90. Okay, now you're going to divide by 5 on both sides. And then when you do that, you should get x equals 8. Okay, number 3. So given that x plus y equals 7 and x minus y equals 5. To simplify x plus y times x squared minus y squared. Well, so x squared minus y squared, this can be simplified into x plus y times x minus y. Because when you refoil this, you'll get x squared plus xy minus xy, which will cancel each other out, minus y squared. Okay, and then this is also times x plus y from the 1 over here. Okay, well, it's giving you x plus y equals 7 and x minus y equals 5, so you can do 7 times 5 times 7. So 7 times 5 is 35, and 35 times 7 is 254. I'm sorry, misspoke. 245. Okay, number 4. So John went to buy a new pair of shoes. The store was having a discount of 20%. If the sales tax was 8% and John paid a total of $64.80, what was the original price of the shoe? So, store was having a discount of 20%, and that can be written as 0.80, because you're doing 1 minus 20%, which is 1 minus 0.2, which is 0.8, times 1.08 for the sales tax. Since you're adding on, it's going to be 1 plus 8%, or 1 plus 0.08. Times x, because x is the original price of the shoe, equals $64.80. Okay, so you're just pretty much isolating the variables and solving for x. So you could just write this as x equals $64.80 divided by 0.80 times 1.8, and then you can simplify this down into $75. So $75 is the original price of the shoe. Okay, and last question. So you're valuing 3 minus 5i over 8 plus 2i. So how do you do this? Okay, first you're going to multiply by the complex conjugate, which is 8 minus 2i. You're just taking the opposite sign. Same variables, same numbers. Over 8 minus 2i. Okay, so you're going to have 8 times 8, which is 64. Oh, sorry. Let's do the top first. Okay, so 3 times 8 is 24. 24, and then, so negative 5i times 8 is negative 40i. Okay, so, and then negative 2 times 3 is negative 6i, or negative 2i, yeah, sorry, and then that becomes negative 6i. And then lastly, negative 5i times negative 2i is going to become positive 10i squared, okay, over 8 times 8 is 64. So here we see the plus 2i and minus 2i, so we know the middle terms are going to cancel out. So it's going to be plus 16i minus 16i, so we know that it's going to cancel. We don't even have to write that down then. Okay, and then the last term, which is a positive 2i times negative 2i, which is going to be minus 4i squared. Okay, now we're going to simplify. So 24, there's no other common terms at the top. Minus 40i minus 6i, that's minus 46i I, and then plus 10 I squared. So I squared is negative 1, so that's just minus 10. Okay, same thing goes for the bottom, so 64 minus 4I squared, so that's going to become positive 4, because I squared is negative 1, plus 4. So now you have 14 from the top, because 24 minus 10, minus 46 I over 68. Okay, and usually you want to simplify. Sometimes you can leave it like this if the answer calls for that, if it's multiple choice. So if you were to simplify, you can divide everything by 2. So that'll get you 7 minus 23 I over 34. Okay, and this is going to be the final answer. Alright, so that pretty much sums it up for a basic introduction into fractions, ratios, rates, and percentages. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And other than that, see you next time.